Welcome to this tutorial in Microsoft Excel. We will begin to show you how to enter information into the cells in your workbook. On the sheet here, we'll click on the cell somewhere on the left side. I'm going to click on cell C3, and we see that the column is the first part of the cell name, and then the row is second. We see the identifier in the box, the name box on the upper left corner. So I'm in cell C3. Let's see what happens when I enter a word, M-O-N-E-Y, money. Well, money, as we notice, defaults to being aligned to the left side of the cell. We can align it left, right, or center, and we'll look at those features later. If I want to change the width of a cell, there's a couple things I can do. The easiest way is to move the cursor between the column names C and D. If I move it right in the middle, you notice that the cursor changes its shape. I hold the button down and I drag it to the right, and it will give me a different width. I can make it smaller or wider, anything I like to do. Well, now let's see what happens when I enter in just a raw number. Let's say 34. Well, it automatically defaults to being right aligned in the box. How about 34.12? That also is right aligned. Let's try a date. 1-1-2019. Enter. It's right aligned as well. Once again, we can overcome the defaults. What happens if I put in a really long word in a cell or long phrase? This is a long phrase in a single cell. Now, you notice what happens on a visual level. What it will do is it will bleed over into the cells to the right. Now, if I have some information into the right cell, let's see what happens. I'm going to click on cell D7, and it looks like I'm going to overwrite this, but watch what happens. I can type in a number. Let's type in 500. Okay, now 500 is in this cell. It looks like we've lost information in cell C7, but if we click back there and look up in the formula bar, which contains the actual contents, we discover that the information is still there. I just can't see it. There are several ways I can see it. I can make this cell wider over here. Wide as I need to make it. There's a trick here too. If you double click on the width, it will make it to the widest element in that particular column. So if I double click, that's where it goes. The other option I can do is I can leave it smaller, and I can move this information to a different cell. To move information in a cell to another cell, you click on any one of the four edges of the cell. You see it change to a four-sided arrow. Hold the mouse down, and I can drag and move it wherever I want. You can also merge cells. We'll get into that later. But words are aligned left. Numbers automatically right, and so are numbers with decimals, and dates aligned to the right. And you can overwrite these defaults. What would you do if you want to enter in a number that starts with a 0? Maybe you have departments, and departments are called 0A6, 0A7, 0A8. Let me try that, 0A6. Now it treats that, because it's a mixture of numbers and letters, as a word. But what if the department is called 0066? It automatically defaults to treating that as a number. Now, if I'm going to enter in something that looks like a number but really isn't a number, there's another way to do that. I'll click down here. I'll start with the apostrophe character on the keyboard and type 0066. The apostrophe says, what follows treat like a word. You can't do math on it. You're not going to add it or subtract it. And I simply click enter, and there it treats it like a word, and it aligns it to the left. That's a little bit on some basic entry of information into cells. We'll give you more information later about how to format a date, how to format numbers, all kinds of things. But this is a bit of an introduction into just putting information into cells. A cell contains a lot of information as well as formulas, which makes Microsoft Excel a very powerful tool in your hands. We hope you found this useful. Thank you.
We'd like to invite you to take your copy of Microsoft Excel and put different kinds of data or information into cells and see what happens. It's a good way to get comfortable with entering information of all kinds into your spreadsheets. If you found this tutorial helpful, we'd like to ask you to like us and subscribe to our YouTube channel here at The Sharper Turtle. I'm Jim for The Sharper Turtle, thanking you.